I grew up listening to people saying basic need is food, shelter, and clothes. I was misled throughout my childhood. Not even a single teacher talked about money, not even a single class taught me about money, not even a single session was related to money. But then when I grew up, I realized there is only one basic need in human life, and that happens to be money. Everything else comes with it. However, you don't have to be a genius, you don't have to be tech savvy, or you don't have to be amazing with numbers and mathematics to be making money. You got to be controlling your behavior, and that is what I learned from this book, The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. And this, I believe, is one of the best books I've ever come across, because money has shaped generations, money has shaped nations, money has shaped civilization, and this book is timeless because greed was a part of every single one of those evolutions. And greed is something that we call a behavior, and money is all about behavior. From this book, I picked up 6 takeaways that I feel are the best in this book. The first one is no one is crazy. No one is crazy. Every individual have different circumstances, different lifestyle, different need, different wants, and that is why when they spend money on a particular thing, for others it might sound crazy, but for them it might make a lot of sense. Let's take an example of a kid who grew up in slums, had no food on the table, and when the person grows up and starts making money, the person is investing a lot of money in trying different foods. For someone who has always had a stable economy, a good family background, and never had issues with food on the table, they might think that the other person is crazy, he's spending so much money on food. But if we stop judging the other person and try looking at life from his perspective, food was something that he desired growing up, and now when he can afford eating those food is not a wrong expenditure for them. For them, it's logical, it's rational, is reasonable. For someone else, it's illogical, irrational. There is no point in doing that. So no one is crazy. It's just their situation. It's just the fact that they are different. They have different needs, different way of looking into things, and that does not make them crazy. Another example could be people from 70s and 80s will think that investing in Bitcoin or cryptocurrency is crazy. There is no point. You can't even feel it. You can't even touch it. That's not even money. But if you talk to someone from this generation, a younger generation, they will feel that the older generation does not understand the fact that Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies are the future. I am investing in the future is their perspective. So neither party is wrong. The other person grew old, investing on different stocks, investing on different properties, and for them it has to be tangible, it has to be seen, it has to be of more value. They can talk about it. But for the younger generation, it don't have to be tangible, it don't have to be a mansion, a flat, a house, or anything as such. It could just be cryptocurrency. So no one is crazy. Everyone is different. They are thinking differently. They have different angle of looking into things, and we cannot call them crazy. The second thing that I liked about the book is the power of compounding and staying alive. Now, I love the example that the author shares. It's about Warren Buffett, who actually makes most of his wealth after the age of 65. In 2008, when everyone was going crazy selling their stocks, Warren Buffett was doing the exact opposite. He was buying stocks, he was investing in stocks because he was looking at the future. People didn't know that he had been investing for decades, and once he reached 65, now it all started showing off. The fact that he has invested in more than 500 stocks, but most of his fortunes are made from those 10 specific stocks is the key. It's about trial and error. You cannot make all the decisions right, but you got to be making decisions thinking one of them will work out, and when that one clicks, that could change your future for good. So the power of compounding, if you are buying stocks for the future, keep it until the future. Don't panic, don't start selling. You don't have to be rational, you can be reasonable. And remember why you started. You invested for the future, and in present when things are not going right, You don't have to be panicking and selling it off. You can keep it for the future because you never know when your times comes and the stock market could be bouncing back again. Third is rich versus wealth. Rich versus wealthy. When we see someone driving the best cars available in the market, we instantly think they are rich. But are they going to be wealthy for the rest of their life? I cannot say that for sure, because tomorrow they might end up spending everything they have. Because rich is all about the cash flow, it's all about the income, but wealth is about investment, it's about savings, it's about thinking for the future, it's about buying in such a way that you only buy stuff that's needed. You need a house, you buy it. But you need a house to show off, don't do that, because you don't need it, and that investment could have been invested in a different place, in a different property, which could have given you more return, higher return for the future. Investing wisely is what differentiates, spending wisely is what differentiates a rich from a wealthy. Next one is the freedom is the ultimate dividend. Now, when we talk about freedom, we talk about going anywhere we want. But for as long as I want is the real freedom. Going somewhere today, but then not being able to go anywhere day after tomorrow is not freedom. Freedom is going where I want today, going where I want tomorrow, going where I want day after tomorrow and throughout my life. Buying what I want today, buying what I want tomorrow, and buying what I want all my life. Doing what I want to be doing now, today, tomorrow, and forever. That is the ultimate freedom. It's not about today, it's about every day, every single day throughout your life. You got to be having that freedom, and for that, wealth is needed, not just riches. Another one is never is enough philosophy that he talks about. For example, I have a scooter today, but I would definitely want a better bike tomorrow, better motorcycle tomorrow. Day after tomorrow, I would be wanting a car. Day after that, I might be wanting a helicopter, a chopper. Maybe day after that, I'll be wanting a jet plane. Maybe day after that, I want to be buying an aeroplane company itself. And even after that, I'll not be satisfied. That is human nature. We are never satisfied. So we got to understand what is enough. Why am I buying 20 cars if I'm only in a position to drive one at a time? I don't see a point in having 20 of them for 20 different occasions. You could be investing that money in a different way. You could be spending that money in different areas which could bring back fortunes. If you are one, you're going to sleep in one bed. So why do you need 20 bedrooms in a house where there are only 4 people? That is not need. That it's just a desire to have more. And that is exactly what the author talks about. The goalpost keeps moving. Once you think that I'm nearby the goalpost, and as soon as you shoot, the goalpost goes away. Further, you move further, the goalpost moves further behind. Now, you will never be able to meet all your desires. That is impossible. That is why you got to know when to stop. You got to know what is enough, and only then you are going to be in a position where you can have that freedom I was talking about in the previous point. Last point is margin for error. I would not have been talking about this point if I had the superpower to read the future. If I could see what could happen tomorrow, if I could know what is going to happen day after tomorrow, I would not have talked about it. But nothing is uncertain. The future is definitely not certain. That is why you got to have that margin of error. You got to have that buffer zone, a cushion. For example, I want to be traveling to a nearby place. My calculated expenditure, even if I spend like crazy, would be, let's say, 100,000 Nepali rupees. But what if something unpredictable happened? What if I would need that extra couple of thousands and I only have that 100,000? Now that could change the whole scenario. That is why that buffer zone, that margin for error could be a lifesaver. Regardless of who you are, where you are from, you could be a student, you could be a traveler, you could be a business person, no matter who you are, keep that margin for error because you cannot predict the future, and having a margin of error would give you that courage to go an extra mile, to take some extra risk, because no matter how hard you think you have planned, there could be something coming your way that you can never think of. And when you can't think of something, you can't plan. You cannot plan it. That is the reason why margin of error is important. Hi, this is Jeevan Ghimire. I'm talking about psychology of money today. It's not the summary of the book, because I do want you to be reading the book and not just listen to me. However, there are snippets, there are takeaways that I felt is worth sharing from this book. I will be talking about another book. I'll be sharing more insights on that book next week, next book. But then remember, don't forget to read one. Psychology of money could be a game changer in terms of you remaining rich or being wealthy.